Make some noise! I would like to call up Mr. Flint Farmer. Emmett Farmer, Flint Farmer's father. This banner that's wrapped around the Daly Center are all, maybe not even all, but some of the torture victims who are still in prison during long sentences, life sentences in prison. Look at this banner. I want everybody to just take a look at this banner. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Come on, make some noise in this place.
Today is a day of remembrance. This day, 50 years ago, this is one of our greatest days in history, in which one of our greatest men who fight for life, freedom, and justice for all. And this day, I'm here also seeking justice for all. My 15-year-old son, Stephon Edward Watts, was shot and killed February 1st, 2012. Stephon and his dad, Stephen Edward Watts, was standing at the foot of the basement stairs while two police officers, Robert Inak and Officer William Coffey. William Coffey is one of the 5 officers that show up at my house for a non-emergency call, in which he was never even called to my house. At the end that murdered the officer that murdered my son. So I'm calling out for one and all to help me and help the Watts family with this bill. The nature of my visit here is to ask everyone in the South who is around, in the sounding, listening to all that I'm saying, to sign this bill that we are trying to get passed nationwide so that first responders who are fire, paramedic, and police officers trained to deal with people with mental disability. This bill is not for the Powell Watts family. My son Justice is gone, it was taken away. It's so that it never happened to another human being. So it never happened to another one of us. So, there's petition like this going around. I'm asking everyone please to sign it so that we can get first responders to be trained to deal with people with disability. Please sign this bill for one and all.
Come on now, give her a round of applause. She's out there advocating for everybody. Give her a round of applause.
Gregory Mandaruco.
Just want to thank everybody for being out here. I just walked with this banner. It is the saddest banner I could possibly imagine. Hundreds of victims of state terror, some of whom are still locked up, incarcerated, based on false confessions that were made under extreme torture conditions. So I think this is an absolute disgrace to the city, and it requires federal investigation to prosecute these officers who are involved. My own situation, I don't want to tell you why I support CPAC legislation to replace the current Independent Police Review Authority, which is supposed to investigate police crimes in the city. I myself was attacked by two animal, absolute thug, off-duty Chicago police officers on February 7th, 2010. I still don't know the identity of those officers because the uniformed officers who responded to the scene of the crime walked those officers to their car, let them go off into the night against the pleas of me and my friend who were attacked. We called 911 from the scene of the crime, in fact, and still we don't know the identity of those thugs who wear badges in this city. We came home from the hospital and we were patched through, another 911 call, patched through to the Independent Police Review Authority. And that's where 3 years of intimidation and terror began. Once we called IPRA, they told us not to come and make a statement. They said, we think you should think twice about what you're doing. And we said, we were attacked by cops. What do you mean we should think twice about what we're doing? And that was the beginning of 3 years of just torture. And I just thank everybody for being out here today. It's time that cops who are off duty or on duty, like the ones who attacked me, it's time that they realize that they will be held accountable for their actions. They will be held to the letter of the law, just like any of us, that they do not stand above the law. Thank you.
Ms. Morgan.
God bless everyone that's here today. Without God, we would not be here in such a peaceful demonstration. I'm happy to see all of you. We have to lean on one another when we're not strong, because we have to keep faith ahead of us, hope around us, and love walking through us. That is the only thing that's going to persevere and take us to the finishing line, that we know that victory will be there. My name is Reverend Rosalind Morgan. I'm the wife of Officer Howard Morgan, which was a railroad policeman. 8.5 years ago, he was shot 28 times, 21 times in the back parts of his body, and 7 in the front. And he identified himself as a railroad police officer. Chicago police shot him. They beat him in his head. him to Mount Sinai Hospital, where he was almost pronounced dead. But I want to let you know something on this most precious day, that he is still alive. We thank God for that. He is still alive. And because he is alive, there is still hope where we are today. We would not be here if we didn't think that hope and victory would be awaiting us at the end of this tunnel. Now that Howard Morgan was shot 28 times, that was not enough. He was charged with 4 counts of first-degree attempted murder, 3 counts of aggravated battery, and 1 count of aggravated discharge of his weapon. There was a trial. They put a $2 million bond on a man that had never been in jail or committed any crimes before. Then after that, they had a trial. A jury of his peers. Listen good. A jury of his peers, they found him not guilty of shooting his weapon. Not guilty of shooting his weapon. That wasn't good enough. It was taken to the appellate court. They denied the appeal. It was taken to the Illinois Supreme Court. They denied it. Then it was taken to the Supreme Court. They did not hear it. Their statement was put a Rule 23 on it. That means don't talk about it. And then you send it back to the trial judge for the remaining charges that should have been wiped out, because this whole thing was initiated around the shooting of a weapon. If they say that you are not guilty of shooting your weapon and there was no other weapons used on that night, then why would you still have the remaining charges on you? That wasn't good enough for them. They had a second trial. Jurors of not his peers. Therefore, they would not, Howard Morgan's attorneys were instructed, do not tell the second jurors about any acquittal regarding you. If so, there would be serious repercussions. They could not tell them that it had been a first trial and he was acquitted. So therefore, they had a trial for 10 days. The jury came back and said that Howard Morgan was guilty. They never heard that he was not guilty. They never heard that. So at this point, they sentenced Howard Morgan to 40 years in the penitentiary. If the young people that have died, their blood crying out from the grave to have justice, this injustice must stop. It must lie down. It must stay buried. But if we begin to weaken in our spirits and we do not ask for justification, it will never take place. If you sit down on anything, you'll stand for nothing. So thank you very much.
Ms. LaWanda Leonard.
I want to thank God. I want to thank everybody for being here. It's just so much strength for me that you all are here. My name is LaWanda Lampkins. I served 30 years in prison on crime I didn't commit. My issue is that women, same way they do men in torture, they will do us. That's what needs to be heard. Women, we are also being thrown into these plantations, also being executed, also being murdered. God bless me to be here. Praise God. 2 years before I was free after the 30-year torture of being locked up for something I didn't do, my son was murdered, slaughtered, a modernized lynching by the Calumet City Police, Prince Akbar. I'm traumatized. I'm so torn out. And because everybody is here, I have strength through you. And I thank you for that strength. That's all I can say. Thank you. We gotta fight. We gotta stand up. They ain't playing with us. We ain't playing with them. Fight back. Fight back. Oh, my baby. Please give it to me. My name is Mr. Lawrence Bull Clayton. I have a brother today, his name is David Bull. This is a photo of David, what he looked like while he was beaten while in restraints, beaten profusely about his body. 20 years of filing written complaints against these individuals at Chester Mental Health Center, and the complaints always return back unfounded. Well, I've changed my strategy for working with them, and we received 2 complaints substantiated now, and things are looking up. But we're still concerned about him because now his liver is turning green from forced psychotropic drugs. So I'm asking you for prayers for my brother and for my other patients at Chester, and I thank the Alliance for being be a representation for my brother.
We're going to wrap it up now. I just want to say one more time, make some
Okay. I just want to give directions. The buses will be on Clark Street to my right, where I'm pointing. The buses will be